Today's adventure, we have it's a marine AC Dual Diaphragm fuel pump. By the arm, looks at the arm, it's a small block Chevrolet. Seems interesting because it's this part right here. There's usually a glass bowl attached to it, and what happens if the diaphragm goes bad, springs a leak, it sends fuel into this and it fills up that little bowl. And just by looking at it, they trust that you're going to check this all the time. If you see fuel in there, then you know the diaphragm's going bad. Otherwise, there's another thing that there's a fitting that goes in here, and it runs a line up to what I call an air cleaner on a boat. I think it's an arrestor anyway. And again, when the diaphragm goes bad, it sends fuel up to the carburetor, floods it out, lets you know that there's a problem. We don't sell any kits for these. The simple reason is the pull rod that's in here it's totally different from any other pull rod and on the other fuel pumps. It's longer. The part that goes through the diaphragm and the plates is longer because there's a stack of plates in here, and there's two diaphragms. So what I have to do is I have to reuse the plates, I have to reuse the pull rod, as long as everything is fine in it, as long as there's nothing broken. But we're going to go through this one and get it all cleaned up so that it goes back on the boat and they go back to fishing, or whatever it is you do on the boat. Very first thing you want to do, it doesn't matter, I tell you this is what you want to do, but you're not going to do this at home, is we have to mark the location of the casting in relation to the arm, the inlet and the outlet. So I mark it straight up so that everything goes back on the same way it is right here. And rather than tell you what you should do, because like I said, you're not going to do this at home. One way that you could do this at home is if you sent me the diaphragm assembly, and I'll remove it, put new diaphragms on it, put it back together, and then you can put it back together again. So I guess the first thing you want to do, take out these 4 screws. This is called a pulsator. When the pump is working and it's throwing pulses through there, this part right here, the rubber will expand, keep it from thumping, and it actually goes up into here. It knocks down that, what they thought was a thumping noise. Turns out it was it wasn't that. It didn't really need it, but it does soften any kind of pulses that the pump produces. We're going to take out all 10 of these screws. These screws they go right through to the bottom casting, so we got to save these, clean them all up, and put them back in. Now, these marine ones, they even use a lock washer underneath. Now, the reason I said that I reuse them is normally I replaced all the screws with new ones, but I don't have any black screws that are that long. The ones that I have are too short. So I clean them, redo them. Anyway, fuel casting. There's your inlet and outlet valve. They come out through the bottom. You get them out of there. Rather simple. Just take a punch. Right around the outside edge and anywhere in there. You're obviously not going to reuse them, so there's also a paper washer. It's got to come out. This is one of the diaphragms here. And then there's this plate in between. I like to get these out of the way. We'll look down inside of here. Ooh, see a little hole right there. While it's in there, if the diaphragm springs a leak, it sends fuel through that hole and out through this. This one happens to be plugged, so they'll never know if if a diaphragm goes bad. Push down and flip it down this way. One other thing that these marine pumps, most pumps normally have a seal down in here to keep this from happening. All this oil just makes for a mess. That's the spring that controls your fuel pressure. As you can see, it's a mess of oil. We got to dump it out. Well, that's draining. I'll show you the diaphragm assembly. Is the spring seat. Sometimes this spring seat is built into the plate. Try to get some of this oil out of the way so it's easier to show you what I got. Now, this is a normal length pull rod. It's easy to show you upside down. From this tip to the bottom of that plate, or the bottom of that shoulder. The bottom of the shoulder will be down here, and there's the tip. So you can see it's a little bit longer than normal. Now this measurement from here to here, and that same measurement, as you can see, that pull rod's a little bit longer. Not by much, but it's enough that if it were to go in this pump, the pump wouldn't work. You could end up breaking it. So what I got to do is I got to mark where the center of this hole meets up with here, and there's the extra hole right there for that that overflow thing. And there's usually another hole at the bottom too. But we're gonna go through it. I'll take it all apart, get it all squared away, and we'll put it back together. Get everything all cleaned up. Get all the surfaces all nice and flat. Brushed in the two valves. There's a paper washer that goes underneath it. Press them in. Pulsator diaphragm, pulsator cover, and this is ready. Now we got to assemble the diaphragms. Here's the old one taken apart. The plates are removed. I got it marked. This is in line with the pull rod. Actually, it goes this way here. This is the top. And the pull rod comes up through the bottom. There's the pull rod. As you can see, a little easier now. The difference in the lengths. This part here is where the plates and the diaphragms go. The link hooks on in here. And there's a bit of a difference. This would make it so that the arm wouldn't travel as far and you wouldn't get as much fuel out of it. The stroke would be off. So we're going to assemble this part, and we got a plate goes on first. One of the diaphragms. This is this aluminum spacer that goes in between the two. Another diaphragm. Another plate. There's a washer that goes on here and a Bellevue washer. This paper washer that helps. With this Bellevue washer, it's got a cone shape to it. Once it gets staked, the pressure of it trying to straighten out holds everything together nice and tight. So what we have to do is, I got to line up the center of this hole with the center of one of these holes. Then I can go stake it together. Then I got to punch holes in it. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, a minute's up. It's all staked in there nice and flat. Everything's nice and tight. Nothing moves. So there's going to be no leaks in between here, in between any of the plates. And looks like we got to punch a hole here and here. And it looks to be a 3/16. Let me get the punch out and we'll punch a hole in it. I know what you're saying. Why am I bothering to punch a hole in here when this thing is plugged up? Oh, what if the customer decides to hook it back up? And I didn't punch a hole in it. Something happens. Now it's my fault. So I'm going to do it. That way I'm covering my butt. If the boat police ever got a hold of this person and realized that this isn't opened up like it's supposed to, there could be trouble there. Okay, now I was talking about the seal. If a seal goes in here, then it's got to have a vent, usually inside of here, and 9 times out of 10 I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not. Nah, you can't. There'll be a hole right in here that goes through to this cavity, or it goes straight up, it comes into this, and there's no indication that there's a hole anywhere in here. All there is a casting number way down inside. Or a lot of times they'll put a hole in here that will come out in this section. Regardless, this doesn't have one, so it doesn't need a seal. Any oil that comes up goes right back out again, right back into the engine. So we take the spring. Now there's the link inside there that's got to hook onto. Sometimes it can be a real pain in the neck to get hooked on. This isn't one of those times. Once that's on, we got to install this on there, and it goes this way. We just got to thread this through. Line up all the holes through here. Make sure that that's hooked on there right. I like to get an adjustable on it. As you can see how this one, I think this one here does most of the work, and that one just kind of sits there. Well, I didn't invent these pumps, so. Line up all the holes. Screws are nice and bead blasted and painted. Now we got to thread them through the top diaphragm, the bottom diaphragm, and then line it up with the screw underneath. I like to get one on each side, just because it makes things a little easier. Like I said, it makes things a little easier. Especially when you can find how it goes through. Like that. Pull it up. Line up the screw holes. Get 2 of these caught. One opposite each other, just so that it holds it. It doesn't twist it at an angle. put the rest of the screws in, but don't tighten them down yet. Once you get all 10 screws about halfway down, just so that they touch the casting, there's still room to go there. The adjustable on here, pull it all the way up. Now what you're doing is you're preloading the diaphragm. Now you can tighten down. Do at least 4 of these screws, obviously opposite each other. By doing them opposite each other and doing 4 screws, it enables you to release the pressure off of this. Tighten down the rest. With that all done, you can give it a quick test. Take up the free play. Put your finger over the inlet, pull it up and you'll feel it. Kind of pull your finger in. Hold the arm up, put your finger over the outlet, let it go, and you'll feel pressure on the other side. By doing that, you're making sure that everything is sealed all the way around, no leaks. Gasket. Put it on the engine. If you have one of these, put that glass bowl in there or run that line up to the air cleaner. It's a good safety feature. One little side note is, you look right here, see the circle with a bunch of lines around the outside? That's usually the date code that this came out of the casting. I mean, the casting came out of the mold when they made it. If you need any numbers on it, any casting numbers, either be inside here, they'll be inside the body. Remember that vent area I showed you, the number is stamped in there. That's about it. Happy boating. And if you need the number, it's stamped right in the flange. This one's a 40155, which corresponds to a small block Chevy. This AC made these dual diaphragm pumps for Fords, Chryslers, GMs. If it was a Carter did it a little different, which I think is neat. In their body, they didn't do the dual diaphragm. They tapped into where the vent is. There's a vent usually off the tower in the back. Could be on the body, could be down inside of here. But that vent is usually has a pipe sticking out of it. Most of the time it's on the body, sticking straight out to the side, out this way. And you just hook the hose on here and it goes up to the carburetor. If it has a tall tower on the back for the vent, a lot of times they'll drill and tap, put a fitting in it. And that's Carter's version of it. Does the same thing, only different. They have to do it their way. If you want to get a kit, remember you can call it in by number. Let the counterman know that you got a dual diaphragm pump and you're going to send in the diaphragm assembly. And then I'll build a kit for you and you'll be all set. Catch us by phone is 781-335-8860. You can try it on the web. We're having trouble with our website, but you can try it anyway, then-now.com. that'll be it. Hope this helps. If you have any problems, let me know. Don't forget to hit subscribe and the little notification bell. And I'll let you know when the next time. If you got a pump that you want me to do up for you, let me know. Put it in the comment section down below. And I'll see if I can get something together for you. Thanks for watching.